The discipline trap, keeping you broke. You think discipline will make you rich, but it's quietly keeping you broke. Saving every penny, skipping luxuries, following all the rules, yet your wealth barely grows. Discover the hidden trap that makes hard work meaningless, and learn how to redirect your effort into strategies that actually multiply your money and freedom. Every morning the alarm blares, and you wake up to the familiar rhythm of life. You go through those motions: shower, breakfast, commute, work. It feels orderly, disciplined, even responsible. You've been taught that discipline is the secret to success, and you've taken it seriously. You save a portion of your paycheck each month, skip unnecessary luxuries, avoid impulsive purchases, and follow the rules to the letter. On paper, everything about your life looks correct. You're doing all the right things. Yet, despite your careful adherence to financial discipline, your bank account barely grows. Your dreams remain distant. The sense of financial freedom you hoped discipline would bring feels perpetually out of reach. This is the subtle, hidden trap of discipline. It is the invisible cage that keeps well-intentioned, responsible people trapped in financial stagnation. At first glance, discipline seems like the ultimate virtue. It is praised in books, promoted in seminars, and reinforced in culture as the pathway to success. People repeat phrases like, save more, spend less, and stay consistent. These words carry authority, and you follow them faithfully. But the truth is, discipline alone, when divorced from strategy and opportunity, can quietly keep you broke. Consider Henry, a man in his early 30s. Henry works in an office job and has been disciplined his entire adult life. Every month, he carefully deposits $200 into a savings account. He avoids dining out, skips vacations, buys generic groceries, and resists every small pleasure in order to save money. He believes he is making sacrifices for a secure future. After all, discipline is supposed to lead to wealth, isn't it? But 10 years later, Henry's total savings barely surpass $30,000. Inflation has eroded much of that value, and he has missed countless opportunities to put his money to work in investments, side businesses, or skill-building opportunities. Henry is not lazy or careless. He is disciplined, but he is trapped. Discipline, when practiced without awareness, can feel virtuous because it requires sacrifice. Humans naturally admire self-control and restraint, yet every sacrifice carries a cost. Over time, the mental and emotional burden of rigid discipline accumulates. Constantly denying oneself small pleasures can lead to decision fatigue. Watching friends enjoy their lives while you restrict yourself creates feelings of frustration, jealousy, or resentment. The long-term effect of delayed gratification without vision is subtle but powerful. It slowly transforms from a tool of self-improvement into a cage of stagnation. Many people fail to realize how discipline can become a trap. They equate working hard, saving diligently, and avoiding risk with progress. They pride themselves on sticking to routines and controlling every dollar. But effort without direction, sacrifice without strategy, is a slow form of imprisonment. You are moving, but you are not advancing. You're saving, but you are not growing. Your routine may appear noble, yet it is silently keeping you from achieving the financial freedom you imagine. Let's return to Henry. After years of faithful saving, he finally looked at his finances honestly. The numbers were frustrating. He had followed the rules. He had sacrificed daily pleasures. He had remained disciplined. Yet his financial position was barely better than when he started. The realization hit him. Discipline alone was not enough. It had become a trap because he had focused on preservation rather than growth, safety rather than opportunity. The structure he had relied upon to protect him was actually restricting his potential. The trap of discipline often shows itself most clearly when compared with those who embrace strategy along with effort. Take two friends, Lisa and Marco. Lisa is a model of conventional discipline. She saves 20% of her income every month, avoids indulgences, and has a precise budget. 15 years later, she has a modest savings account and the comforting sense of security, but not wealth. Marco, her friend, is less rigid. He invests in courses, attends networking events, and occasionally spends on experiences that improve his skills or open opportunities. Marco takes calculated risks with a portion of his money, like investing in small businesses or learning new skills to increase his earning potential. After 15 years, Marco's net worth dwarfs Lisa's. He has built multiple income streams, leveraged compounding, and cultivated opportunities that Lisa, trapped by her own discipline, never considered. Lisa wasn't reckless, she was trapped. Marco wasn't careless. He understood how to direct his energy effectively. The essential difference is clear. Discipline is effort, while strategy is direction. Effort without direction leads to motion, but not progress. Discipline without vision preserves, but it rarely multiplies. Many people remain stuck because they assume that hard work and consistent saving alone are sufficient to create wealth. They are rowing diligently in a boat with no rudder, and over time, the scenery barely changes. This is the discipline trap in its purest form. Breaking free begins with awareness. The first step is recognizing that the very habits and routines you have followed so faithfully may be limiting, not liberating. Savings are important, but they are not the sole measure of financial growth. Rigid routines may provide a sense of control, but they do not guarantee progress. Sacrifices that once felt noble may, in reality, prevent you from taking steps that could dramatically improve your financial life. Now, awareness is critical because you cannot change what you do not see. You must realize that your disciplined life, while technically correct, may be keeping you trapped in slow, incremental progress instead of exponential growth. Awareness alone, however, is not enough. Recognizing the trap does not release you from it. Action does. You must learn to redirect your discipline, to use it as a tool for growth instead of a mechanism for stagnation. The very effort that kept you confined can, if properly applied, become the engine for wealth and opportunity. The first step toward breaking free is understanding that discipline must be coupled with vision, strategy, and the willingness to take calculated risks. Many disciplined people fail to take this step because they have been conditioned to equate safety with success. They avoid risks at all costs, cling to familiar routines, and resist change. They think that maintaining control over every dollar, every choice, every routine is the path to security. But security without growth is an illusion. It feels safe because it is predictable, but it does not lead to financial independence or freedom. Growth requires calculated risk, experimentation, and the flexibility to redirect effort where it matters most. Discipline alone cannot provide these. Consider Henry once again. The realization that his discipline was limiting rather than liberating was uncomfortable. It challenged his entire worldview, the belief that if he just followed the rules, he would eventually be free. But once he acknowledged the trap, he could begin to see the path forward. He realized that saving money without growth is preservation, not progress. He understood that sacrifices alone do not generate opportunity. Most importantly, he recognized that disciplined routines could be powerful, but only if applied strategically. This is where the first part of the journey ends. Awareness of the discipline trap is the doorway to action. You can see it clearly now. The habits, routines, and sacrifices you valued may have unintentionally confined you. The next step, redirecting your discipline into intelligent action, calculated risk, and wealth-building strategies, is the path out. The effort you have invested in staying disciplined has not been wasted. It is the foundation upon which you can build financial growth. By the end of this, you should recognize that the discipline trap is real, subtle, and widespread. Many people believe that discipline alone guarantees wealth, but as we've seen through Henry, Lisa, and Marco, disciplined effort without strategic direction often results in stagnation. Discipline is not the enemy. It is your ally, but only when guided by strategy and the willingness to act beyond comfort zones. Discipline alone, without strategy, can limit your growth. Now, let's find out how to transform disciplined effort into real wealth and freedom. This is not about theory, it's about a clear path forward. The first step is to redefine discipline. Discipline is not endless restriction or denial. It is a tool to direct effort purposefully. When guided intelligently, discipline can power investments, skill growth, and new opportunities. Discipline becomes adaptive. It knows when to conserve, when to invest, and when to embrace calculated risk. The difference is subtle but powerful. Instead of rigidly following rules, you use discipline as leverage to achieve results, not merely preserve stability. Next is building smart habits. Saving is still essential, but saving alone is insufficient. Your money must work as hard as you do. Set up automated investments and diversified portfolios that grow faster than inflation. Automate contributions. So discipline works in your favor without daily effort. Beyond finances, invest in yourself. Developing skills, attending workshops, taking online courses, and improving professional competencies compounds over time. This kind of effort multiplies your earning potential, unlike purely restrictive habits. A critical step in escaping the trap is embracing calculated risk. Discipline often conditions people to avoid risk entirely, but financial growth rarely happens in a perfectly safe zone. Calculated risk involves understanding the potential downsides and preparing for them while taking advantage of opportunities with substantial upside. This could include starting a small side business, testing a new skill for career advancement, or investing a portion of savings in high-growth assets. The key is preparation. Risk without thought is reckless, but planned risk amplifies results. Compounding is a force that distinguishes strategic wealth building from mere saving. Money left idle grows slowly, often too slowly to outpace inflation. Compounding transforms disciplined action into exponential results. Even small, consistent contributions over time can grow into substantial wealth. For instance, contributing a modest sum every month to a growth-focused investment compounds into a large sum over years. This is why redirecting disciplined effort toward compounding mechanisms is essential. Your effort now generates returns far beyond what mere saving could achieve. Diversifying income streams is another pillar of freedom. Relying solely on a salary keeps you tethered to routine and stagnation. Discipline alone may reinforce this limitation, convincing you that security lies in a predictable paycheck. Instead, channel disciplined effort into multiple avenues of income. Active income from your main job can be complemented by portfolio income from investments, residual income from side projects, or passive income from digital products or assets. This diversification multiplies opportunity and reduces the risk that your discipline only preserves rather than grows your financial life. Equally important is retraining your mindset. Many people remain trapped because of fear of failure, fear of loss, or fear of judgment. Conventional discipline often reinforces these fears, emphasizing avoidance and overcaution. Breaking free requires reframing these fears as tools rather than barriers. Mistakes become lessons, temporary losses become feedback, and external judgment loses its power over your decisions. This shift allows disciplined effort to operate creatively and strategically, rather than restrictively. Daily practice reinforces these changes. Begin by auditing your finances thoroughly. Know exactly where your money goes, what is growing, and where there is room for investment or improvement. Next, automate disciplined actions. Contributions to investment accounts, transfers to growth vehicles, or allocations toward skill development. Identify one calculated step to take each month, perhaps learning a skill, creating a project, or investing a manageable portion of capital. Track results, review periodically, and adjust strategy. Over months and years, these small actions compound into substantial outcomes. Another mindset adjustment is to view effort as leverage, not limitation. Discipline is often framed as denial, saying no to pleasures or hoarding money. A strategic perspective transforms it into a multiplier. Every dollar, every hour, every decision becomes a tool for opportunity. Sacrifices are no longer a matter of deprivation. They are investments in growth. Spending on education, courses, or high-value networking may temporarily reduce savings but yields far greater returns over time. Consistency is vital. Discipline does not vanish. It evolves. The difference lies in application. Rather than restricting yourself endlessly, apply your effort in ways that generate measurable growth. Routine becomes powerful when it is directed strategically. Your time, money, and energy now serve expansion rather than preservation. This is the essence of escaping the trap, redirecting the very habits that once limited you so that they become engines of progress. At this stage, the principles to follow are clear. Combine discipline with strategy, leverage calculated risks, apply compounding, diversify income, and adopt a growth-oriented mindset. Discipline alone preserves, but disciplined strategy multiplies. Effort, when directed intelligently, becomes exponential rather than incremental. Implementing these ideas requires patience and persistence. Small, deliberate steps compound into momentum. Automate contributions, track growth, adjust your habits, and gradually expand your calculated risks. Consistent effort produces results not immediately visible, but over months and years, the impact becomes undeniable. The transformation is less about radical change and more about intelligent redirection. Finally, understand that freedom and wealth are the product of disciplined, strategic action over time. The trap was not your self-control, it was the misapplication of it. Redirecting discipline toward opportunity allows it to serve growth, multiply wealth, and produce genuine freedom. You do not abandon the habits that made you disciplined, you repurpose them. Your effort, once limiting, becomes liberating. Discipline transforms from a constraint into a tool for creating the life you envision. Through strategic application of effort, calculated risk, compounding, and diversification, you can break free from stagnation. Daily, small, intelligent actions become the building blocks of substantial results. Your disciplined habits, when aligned with strategy and opportunity, can propel you from financial limitation to financial empowerment. This is the essence of escaping the discipline trap. Not abandoning discipline, but transforming it into a multiplier for wealth, freedom, and opportunity. Every action you take when guided by strategy becomes an investment in your future. Sacrifices are now intentional. Effort is purposeful. Risk is measured. Growth is compounding. Over time, the accumulation of these disciplined strategic choices produces a life of financial autonomy and opportunity. The discipline trap loses its power, replaced by the momentum of deliberate action. The same self-control that once held you back now becomes the engine of your success and the life you imagined. Financial freedom, opportunity, and choice moves from possibility to reality.